Watch. Are we live? What's going on? What's this? Oh my God, we're live. Oh my God, all our friends are here. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hi. Tell everybody, what is your name?
I'm Indigo.
You're Indigo. That's right. How old are you, Indigo?
2.
Two. That's right. What are you doing over the weekend? What are you gonna do?
Play soccer.
We're gonna play some soccer.
Yeah. With Dada and Mama and Andy. Both of them.
Everybody play soccer together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, friends. Tell us where you are coming in from and tell us what you're doing over the weekend. This weekend's supposed to be a really nice, beautiful weekend, at least down south here in Florida. And I'd love to know what you guys are up to. Friday is one of my favorite days of the week. And it's an opportunity to be as active as possible. So tell me, what are you doing and where are you coming in from? Hey, you want to go find Mama? Yeah, okay. Today, we're going to be talking about how to avoid weight gain during the holidays, a very important topic because I know there's a lot of people who care about this. And the holidays can be a really challenging time just because there's so much temptation. People are putting pies and cakes and cookies and sodas and, high calorie, savory foods, meats and cheeses and beyond in front of you. And you're sort of like, oh my God, I want to eat all that stuff. That stuff looks so good. But then you always have this conundrum because you're like, well, I want to eat it, but should I eat it? I want to eat it. Should I eat it? I want to eat it. That makes my glucose go do weird things. So we're going to talk about some simple strategies that you can implement that will hopefully not only prevent you from gaining weight, but also maybe even get you to lose weight during the holidays. I know it sounds blasphemous, but we have plenty of people who have done that before. And I think it's a very simple strategy, but you got to have the right mindset in order to make it happen. All right. So we got Andrea coming in from Port Charlotte, Florida. What's up? Whoa, some comments just disappeared. Here we go. Okay, we got Mona coming in from the Virgin Islands. I love it. Andrea coming in from Port Charlotte, Florida, like I just said. Judy coming in from Virginia. Risa coming in from Detroit. And Justin coming in. Awesome. This open made my day, San Antonio. Amazing. Justin, glad to have you here too. Christina traveling. Claire coming in from Stafford, Virginia. All right, Samantha coming in from Kentucky. So it looks like we got people from all over the place, which is great. All right, here's the deal. I want you guys to go in the chat box. Tell me this. Do you care about this topic? Do you care about gaining weight over the holidays, right? There's a lot of people who have told us that the holidays are like a really intimidating time for them, especially if they're already in the process of changing their lifestyle. They're trying to integrate more healthful foods, maybe decreasing their total fat content, decreasing their animal food intake. And then all of a sudden the holidays roll around and boom, you got this massive Thanksgiving dinner in front of you. And you're just like, oh my God, why do I have to work so hard in order to eat normal food? Right. Then Christmas comes around and the same types of things happen. And, in preparation for Christmas, people are giving you all types of cookies and gifts and wine and crackers and beyond. And you're just like, people, is there any normal food that is actually health promoting? So tell me if this is something that you have experienced. I want to know more about the voice inside of your head. What happens when you're in the holiday season? Are you excited? Are you frustrated? Are you anxious? Tell me everything. Okay, people are still coming in all over the place. Anselina from Barbados. Lisa from Virginia. Mary from Don Jose. Julia says yes. Mary from San Jose. Mona says, yes, it was my downfall. John says, yes. All right, guys, give me more information. The yeses are helpful, but I want real words. I want descriptions. Tell me the emotional feeling that you have on the inside when the holidays roll around, because this is the stuff that actually matters. All right. Risa says, I want to eat all of the sinful food. All right, Risa, I hear you. You're human. I used to be that way myself, and I found ways to overcome it. So let's talk about that. Number one. Andrea says too much sugar everywhere. That is a true statement, Andrea. I couldn't agree with you more. Sandra says no at my set weight. All right, Sandra, that's awesome. Let's keep you there. Andrea says guilt. All right, lots of guilt for sure. Julia, I am the only one who eats this way. I'm assuming you're talking about a plant-strong diet or plant-based diet. If that's true, Join the club. I get it. Samantha, some of the food just brings back memories. It does. Some of the smells and the smells, the sights, the preparation, it all brings back memories for sure. Justin says, pulls me away from my protocols, but I fight the distractions. All right. I love it. Cool. Keep them rolling in. Let's go back up to the top. There was a question here, or there was a statement from Risa, says, I want to eat all of the sinful food. All right. So why? Sinful food. Let's define what the sinful food is, right? It's probably turkey. It's probably cranberry sauce with like sugar added to it. It's probably gravy. It's probably mashed potatoes with butter inside. It's probably cookies. It's probably pumpkin pie. It's probably ice cream. A couple other things that I'm missing. Okay. If those are the types of foods that you consider to be sinful foods, then just let me know. Okay. So I'm going to share with you the most powerful strategy of all. Okay. And this is a strategy that I had to implement myself back in the early 2000s in order to just keep myself from going crazy. All right. What I noticed was that when I would go to Thanksgiving dinner and when I was, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's like the entire world is just obsessed with eating food. Practically all get-togethers revolve around food. All gifts revolve, not all gifts, a lot of gifts revolve around food. And a lot of the reason to, celebrate is just about food. Let's eat food. Let's prepare food. Let's share food. I'm going to give food. I'm going to take food. I'm going to eat food. I'm going to give you more food. I'm going to put a drink in your hand. Here's a beer. Here's a glass of wine. Here's some whiskey. What's wrong with you? Have another one. And before you know it, you're just like, oh my God, I'm not even hungry anymore. People stop. Like, I appreciate it, but geez, like, relax. Right. So one of the things I realized is that you've probably heard out of sight, out of mind. Okay. So what does out of sight, out of mind mean? Okay. If you go into the kitchen and you open a cupboard and there is a bag of potato chips looking at you straight in the face, like call them like Tostitos, or maybe they're like the, Cool Ranch Doritos, like the greatest chips of all time. And you look at them and you're staring at those chips and you're just like, damn you. Why are you in my cupboard? Why are you in my cupboard? The second your eyes see it, it triggers a thought in your brain. It triggers a thought. It triggers a memory to the past. Your taste buds start to salivate, and it triggers this entire emotional mechanism inside of you that says, I like Cool Ranch Doritos. I want to eat Cool Ranch Doritos. My tongue likes Cool Ranch Doritos. I want to eat a lot of them. It makes me feel good. It is a good flavor. It reminds me of when I was a 5-year-old kid riding my bike around town, not caring about the world and not caring about what I put in my mouth. Please give me some, right? It triggers this like whole flood of emotions and mental, memories. Okay. I know what you guys all know what I'm talking about. The Cool Ranch Doritos, right? And then there's the Tostitos and the Fritos and it's just insane, right? So all of these foods back from like the 90s and beyond, like these are all really tasty things. So imagine you open your cupboard and you take a look at that bag, or you take a look at that bag and maybe it's got like pretzels next to it, and maybe it's got some like Snyder's of Hanover's, or maybe it's got some Hershey's chocolate chips, or maybe it's got some Reese's peanut butter cups, for heaven's sakes. And you look at these foods and you're like, I swear to God, who put this stuff in my cupboard? Because I'm trying to eat a healthy diet or a healthful foods. And now I'm looking at all this stuff and I have to think to myself, like, should I put it in my mouth or should I not put it in my mouth? And it creates a conflict, an emotional and mental conflict, because your eyes are seeing something that looks fun and exciting and it conjures up positive memories. But your brain, the rational part of your brain is like, no. Hold on a second. If you eat that Reese's peanut butter cup, you're gonna get a pleasurable experience. But trust me, it's gonna make your glucose do weird things, right? It's gonna maybe derail you, and then one Reese's peanut butter cup turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into a York peppermint patty, and then a king size Snickers bar. And before you know it, all of a sudden you're like, who cares? Whatever, just give it all to me. And you kind of get to this point where it's like the point of no return, and it just starts flooding in, and you just have this feeling of like, whatever, I'll just deal with it tomorrow, right? Okay. So So says, as much as I love Cool Ranch Doritos, I don't miss what they do to my body. Yeah, I hear you. I feel the same way as you. Okay. So all of this started because you opened your cupboard and you saw the food in front of you. Okay. Now imagine we do the exact opposite. Imagine you open your cupboard and instead of seeing the Cool Ranch Doritos and the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and the Snyder's of Hanover's pretzels and beyond, and the Twizzlers, oh my Lord, instead of seeing that, now you see things like mangoes, quinoa, black beans, persimmons, pineapples, papayas, bananas, dates, right? You see those types of foods, whether they're savory whole foods or whether they're sweet whole foods. And you look at these foods, you might not have the exact same visceral reaction to them, right? Very few people are going to open up their cupboard and look at a, dry quinoa and be like, oh my God, I want to eat some quinoa, right? It doesn't really work that way. Instead, what you do is you open up the cupboard, you look at the quinoa, and you're sort of like, all right, cool, quinoa. So sounds good. I could do that, right? You might look at the dates and be like, oh, I like some dates. Those are great, right? You might look at the persimmons and be like, oh, those are really tasty. The bananas, yeah, right? Usually it's the sweet flavors that get our taste buds going and get our mind going. But it's usually not the savory foods that trigger that same type of like impulsive feelings and thoughts. But regardless of that, you look at that and you say to yourself, like, all right, cool. I can derive pleasure out of those foods. If you can look at whole foods, just like we suggest eating, the green light foods that we've been talking about ad nauseum for multiple years, you look at those and you actually do derive pleasure out of them. Mental pleasure, emotional pleasure, taste bud pleasure, digestive pleasure, blood glucose pleasure, energetic pleasure, any of that. And if you do find that there's a positive association between putting that food in your mouth and pleasure, then you're in a good spot, because what that means is that all you have to do as the end user is control your environment. That's it. Okay. So you have a choice every single moment of every single day. You can either stock your cupboards with Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos, or you can stock your cupboards with bananas, persimmons, and dates. It's up to you. You're an adult and you get to choose, right? And if every time you open your cupboard and you took a look at the Cheetos and Fritos and Doritos and Snickers bars and you're just like, man, I'm just like so frustrated because I really want to eat that food, then guess what? You're doing that to yourself. Okay. But if instead you open that cupboard and you see healthful foods and you take a look at that and those foods derive some pleasurable reaction, then you're setting yourself up for a better blood glucose, lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, and a more positive experience today and also tomorrow in the future. Then you're setting yourself up for success. Okay. So controlling your environment is pivotal in this process. The problem is that when you get to the holidays, it's much harder to control your environment, because if it's April 23rd and it's a Tuesday, the stuff that's in your cupboard and the stuff that's in your pantry is very controllable. But if it's December 19th and you're preparing for a party and your grandmother's coming over and your aunts and uncles are coming over and you go to Costco and you stock up to make sure you got the red wine and the chocolates and the turkey and beyond, now you're in a situation where maybe you're either trying to provide food for other people or other people's dietary preferences complicate your internal environment. And that's where it becomes hard again. Okay. So go to the chat box and tell me if what I'm saying resonates with you, because not being able to control your environment is usually the source of the problem. So the things that you can do to help yourself out, the number one most powerful thing that you can do to help yourself out is put healthful foods in front of your eyes. And I know it may sound like an absolutely absurd thing to say, like, oh God, I attended this Facebook Live and all Cyrus told me was that I had to like put persimmons in front of my face. I'm telling you, your eyes tell 1,000 words, or I should say a picture tells 1,000 words, like what your eyes can see dictates so much of what is happening inside of your brain and inside of your mouth and inside of your circulatory system and beyond. If you can stack the cards in your favor by making sure that the foods that you know are healthy for you and the foods that are going to lower your blood pressure and lower your blood glucose and lower your cholesterol level, if those foods are within sight of you, there you are 1,000% more likely to eat them. And you are 1,000% more likely to not be influenced by the, sinful foods that everyone else is bringing to the table. So now picture this. Imagine you go to Thanksgiving dinner, and Thanksgiving dinner has all of the regular fixins. We got the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the cranberry sauce, the green beans. There's butter here. There's gravy here. There's a bunch of meat over here. There's wine. You look at this whole dinner table and you're like, wow, I'm excited. This is very tasty. But intuitively, I know that none of this food is really like what I'm trying to eat. Imagine that there's that same table with all of that food on there because that food goes to everyone else. But in addition to that, you have also taken the time to prepare a huge feast for yourself. We got pumpkin soup, mashed potatoes that don't have any butter in them, quinoa salad, persimmons for dessert, a pumpkin pie with a date crust, and beyond, like green beans that haven't been fried in oil and instead are steamed and have a really nice sort of like collection of spices on top of them with some vinegar. If you can stack the cards in your favor and make sure that your environment is set up for success, it can coexist with other people's food environment, and it makes it so much easier for you to be able to eat. The next thing I'll tell you is that usually when it comes to eating foods and eating meals, it's usually what I've recognized. It's about the first 5 minutes of the meal that are the hardest. The first 5 minutes of the meal are the hardest because that's when you're usually at peak hunger. You've been there before. I know you've been there before. You sit down at a restaurant and you order off the menu and you're sitting there and you're just like, come on, where's my food? Where's my food? Where's my food? Come on, right? And then you wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's almost like the longer you wait, the longer they make you wait, the better the food tastes. Finally, they bring your food. Let's say it's been 15 minutes. They put the food in front of you. All of a sudden, the first 5 minutes of the meal are when most people just kind of like, whoosh, they flip a switch and they're just sort of like, stop talking, boom, start. And they just literally start shoveling food into their mouth because most people are pretty hungry at that point. Okay. After about the first 5 minutes of the meal, most people's anxiety levels have decreased just enough that they still may be hungry, but the food in front of them isn't like dictating they're sort of like isn't significantly influencing their behavior in a negative way. Okay. So as a result of that, if you can just put yourself in a situation and pass the first 5 minutes of the meal and give yourself just enough food to be able to calm your brain down and calm your taste buds down so that you're like partially full, from that point onwards, eating a meal just becomes easier. It's less anxiety, less frustration, less confusion. You just don't care about food as much after the first 5 minutes as you do during the first 5 minutes of the meal. Pay attention to that every single time that you eat. Okay. So says, allowing my taste buds to narrow down was worth it. People get confused when I avoid salty, sugary foods. Whole foods are just so much more tasty. That's absolutely true. It takes a little while for that to happen because sometimes when you remove salt from your food, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this doesn't taste like anything. But after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of that, all of a sudden your tongue's like, I'm alive and I can taste everything and I don't have to be drowned with salt in order to actually get a good, pleasurable experience. Andrea says, date pie crust? I'm sorry, what? Date pie crust? What are you talking about? Yeah, you can go online. I don't have a recipe in front of me, but you can go and you can find pumpkin pie with a date crust on it. It usually comes from like the raw food world. They have all types of these things. Very tasty. I'm going to show you a pumpkin guide here in a second, and I'm going to give you some really good flavored pumpkin recipes that I think you guys are going to freaking love. Okay. Justin says, I stick to your meal plan recipes, well-designed program and worth the investment. I live by it. Awesome. So glad to hear that, Justin. That's really good. We're here to try and help as much as we possibly can. All right. Now for you guys here at Green, I'm going to give you a little secret. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Should I say anything? I'm going to give you a little secret. If you like eating food, just wait what we have in store for you over the course of the next few weeks. I don't exactly know the release date, but somewhere in the next few weeks, there's going to be a really, really, really cool and really fun thing that I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited about. So if you enjoy eating and you enjoy preparing food, Just wait for it. So check your emails and make sure that you're paying attention because there's some really cool stuff coming up. Okay. Don't tell anybody else. All right. Now let's go take a look at the pumpkin pie recipe guide because I want to show you guys. This is yours for free. Okay. All I want you to do is comment the word guide, Guide, in the chat box, and this is yours for free. We'll just send it to you. Okay. Whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on Instagram, you can just type the word guide and then we can DM this book to you. And if you're on YouTube, then you're going to have to come over to Facebook or Instagram in order to do that. Now, this is an ultimate pumpkin recipe guide. And the purpose of this is to give you a whole collection of recipes that are really freaking tasty. And at the bottom of this page, you can see that there's a flavor of amla green, our beautiful Indian gooseberry tea. And that flavor right there is pumpkin spice amla green. That is one of my favorite flavors of all time. It's got some cloves. It's got some cinnamon. It's got a really good pumpkin-y flavor to it. And it has the power of Indian gooseberries to lower your blood pressure, blood glucose, and cholesterol simultaneously. So what I would love for you to do is pick up a bottle of that at some point if you don't already have it and integrate it into any one of these recipes. Okay. So let's scroll down and take a look at some of these recipes because this stuff is bonkers tasty. Number one, coming in right at the top is a pumpkin spice latte. Okay. But this is not a latte that contains milk. This is a latte that contains a plant-based milk. You put a little bit of pumpkin spice amla green into this bad boy, and that's an easy way to start your morning off with a action-packed, metabolically powerful drink. Next up, ooh, my bad. It's not even a tea. What am I talking about? It's coffee. This incorporates amla green coffee, which if you guys haven't tasted this stuff, holy crap. We released amla green coffee a couple months ago, and people have been literally text messaging me every single day being like, yo, dude, how do I get more? 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 And I'm like, whoa, slow down, right? So go pick up some of this amla green coffee if you haven't gotten it already, because I'm telling you, the combination of that plus the amla green tea flavor is ridiculous. It's very tasty. Okay. Now, the next one, pumpkin spice granola. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to make granola that's got a pumpkin flavor. That sounds tasty. Cool. I'm glad you like it. All right, keep going down, Bess. Okay, the next recipe, pumpkin pie hummus. All right, there we go. Hummus is usually, savory. It's got like a garlic flavor, sun-dried tomato flavor. This one has actually got a pumpkin flavor to it. And trust me, I made this one. Very tasty. Pumpkin muffins. Who doesn't love muffins? We've been making muffins for Indigo recently, and she goes bonkers over these things. So a little bit of pumpkin spice, amla green in there, and boom, you got yourself some metabolically powerful muffins. Now we got a pumpkin spice smoothie that's actually warm. This one's real tasty too. I am addicted to smoothies personally, and I hope you are as well. Okay, spiderweb pumpkin soup. This one's really tasty. So think of it as like a smoothie that's not as sweet in a bowl with spiders. Very tasty. Get a little extra protein from those bad boys. Keep going. Pumpkin mac and cheese. Oh man, you talk about memories. You want to travel back to the 1980s? There you go. This is the way you do it. Okay, pasta alternative, mac and cheese with some pumpkin flavor. Good God. As they like to say, game over, drive home safely. Okay, now we got creamy turmeric pumpkin soup. Oh, Lord, you got to be kidding me. Okay, as if the amla berries themselves didn't have a lot of antioxidant power. Again, the world's most powerful antioxidant on the planet. You combine that with turmeric, and it takes your antioxidant content to a whole new level. This soup, if for nothing, get the pumpkin guide for this freaking soup. I'm telling you guys right now, once you taste this thing, it's insane. It's very tasty. Very tasty. As you can tell, I get excited about this stuff. Okay, pumpkin and white bean stew. This is a really good one. You can also substitute chickpeas in here. You can put any other flavor of bean in there. If you're a bean fanatic, this one is very tasty. Pumpkin spice fruit salad. So if you like the sweet flavor and you want to go raw, then boom, this one's for you. Robbie's all over this bad boy because he's a raw foodie. Now we got maple pumpkin popcorn. Not one of my favorites. I do not eat popcorn myself, but if you like popcorn and you want something that's actually a healthful version of popcorn, boom, there you go. This is it for you. Okay. Boom, there you go. All right, so type the word guide. I think I saw a whole bunch of them. We're going to send this to you. And I want to know next week when you guys come back here, I want to know which one of these recipes that you guys made. I want some feedback from you because we put a lot of time and a lot of effort into making these recipes. We test out every single one of them. And my Lord, I am always, always excited about when it finally comes around and it's like a perfect recipe. But of course, that's just what I think. I want to know what you guys think. So says, I started the journey on January 1st, 2020. I remember when you were just becoming a father. Indigo has grown so much. Thank you, So. Yeah, honestly, she's an incredible human being. Let me show you, just to make sure this whole pumpkin journey comes full circle. She dressed as a pumpkin. We all dressed as pumpkins for Halloween. And this little girl was just a monkey. I can't get enough of this girl. Here we go. Let's see if you can hear this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show this to you. Can you see that video right there? Okay. 1, 2, 3. What are you dressed as?
Pumpkin.
Oh, and what are we doing?
Walking to the party.
To the party store?
Yeah.
Are we going to go trick-or-treating? Wee, what do you say when you get to someone's house?
Say, trick-or-treat.
That's what she was, a little pumpkin for Halloween. And here's the beauty. Okay. We got her this little like plastic food basket, and we put all these like little plastic fruits and vegetables inside of it. Okay. So you can see it's got like corn and broccoli and watermelon, right? These are all her little fun toys. So she took this around with her. She would go to a house and she would get like a Snickers bar or Hershey bar. And she'd be like, Daddy, I put it in my food basket. And we're like, yeah, cool. So she take it, she put it back in her food basket. She didn't touch it. She didn't want to eat it. Then at the end of the night, she had all this candy, and we went to her favorite skeleton and we traded her candy in for a toy. And she gave all of her candy up so that she could get one toy. And I was like, oh, yes. So luckily she didn't have a single piece of candy, even though she participated in the trick-or-treating experience. And it's just an awesome experience. So thank you for commenting. So I appreciate it. Yeah, she's the cutest thing in the world. John says, thank you. We love what you do for us. Amazing. John, I love what you do for me. I love the fact that you're here. I love that you're participating. I love that you're taking action on this stuff, because this stuff really does work. And I want to be able to help you out. I don't know if you guys can see this. Maria Khambatta. That would be my mama. What's up, Mom? Welcome to the Facebook Live. She's always here stalking in the background. Love to have you here, Mom. Love you. Thank you for showing up. She wants the guide, so please make sure my mom gets this guide by all means. And John says, I don't know about broccoli versus candy. It's a good question. Shh, don't tell Indigo. Don't tell her. Okay. Awesome. Judy says, what a great way to help kids decrease their candy intake. Yeah, try it next year. Basically, have some type of like stuffed animal in the house or some type of like personality, and basically be like, hey, if you turn in your candy or you're turning in that brownie to Mr. Bear, Mr. Bear's going to give you a present instead. And all of a sudden they get a present that's not food. And the present could be like, I don't know, it could be like a sleeping bag, or it could be like a ball or something. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, cool, I got a ball. And then they like forget about the candy. It's gone. So says, did my mom follow whole food plant-based lifestyle? I will let her answer that. I think my mom follows a lot of what we talk about for sure. She's not 100% whole food plant-based, which is totally cool, but she's made some significant health improvements, and she uses Alma Green, I think, every single day, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe I'll have her come on one of these Facebook Lives one day. We can have some fun together. Anyway, I'm over time. You guys rock. I love you so much. Have a great day. Get that guide. Your homework is to do this. Get the guide, make one recipe from that guide, come back next week, and then let's talk about it. I want to know what it felt like. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And we'll go from there. Cool. I love you guys. Have a great day.